Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something super fascinating, a structured, ancient philosophical framework drawn directly from the teachings of Chanakya. We're going to look at how to evaluate and actually elevate your deepest human cravings. It's all about unpacking the very anatomy of desire to see how our basest wants can be transformed into profound leadership tools. So, let's jump right in. Section 1. What is your wish? To kick things off on this introspective journey, we have to start by pointing the mirror directly at you and your core motivations. So what is your one wish? I mean, seriously, take a second right now and really think about it. What's that one thing you just crave day and night? That singular desire you want fulfilled at literally any cost? We all have at least one driving force. So lock that wish in your head right now, because as we move forward, we're going to put it to the test. All right, let's weigh that wish. Is your desire rooted in just a totally ordinary life? You know, simply eating, living, making some money, and eventually dying, just like billions of other people? Or is it tied to a higher purpose? A purpose focused entirely on doing good and championing the welfare of others? You've got to ask yourself, is your wish serving just you, or is it actually making a real difference for people? According to Chanakya's teachings, there's a brilliant, honestly piercing point to be made here. Leading a purely selfish life? It's really nothing great, quite simply because everyone does it. It's literally the default setting of human existence. But breaking out of that default setting to serve others, well, that is where true human potential actually unlocks. Which brings us to Section 2, the mark of great leaders. Let's explore how we're finding those base wishes actually transforms you from an ordinary person into a genuine leader. Using one's mind and heart for the benefit of others is the mark of great men. If you want to be a leader, you absolutely must be willing to serve. It's kind of a fascinating paradox, right? When you shift your desire away from yourself and towards the collective, the text suggests you're almost magically granted opportunities to become a true role model for the masses. Leadership isn't taken. It's given to you by the very people you help. Moving into Section 3, the logic and science test. Because passing the altruism test is just step 1. Next up, we have to run your newly elevated wish through a rigorous filter of logic. Before you take any action toward that wish of yours, you've got to apply 3 critical steps. First, evaluate. Is it genuinely beneficial or secretly harmful? Second, visualize. What will the ideal outcome actually look like? And third, prepare. What's your plan B? The source really emphasizes cultivating a scientific, methodical bent of mind. By preparing for both good and bad results, you ensure you keep your head above your heart. You're approaching everything rationally, not impulsively. When you're dealing with your deepest desires, the stakes are super high. So applying the scientific method prevents those devastating failures that happen when we let sheer want overpower our common sense. All right, Section 4, mastering your emotional intelligence. Now, yes, you need strict logic, as we just saw, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't have emotions. You just have to manage them correctly. Let's see how this builds. Emotional intelligence is basically the ability to use emotional information to guide your thoughts and behavior, and ultimately manage those emotions to hit your goals. This perfectly illustrates how a balanced leader operates. You see, they respect their own feelings and the feelings of others without ever getting blindly carried away by them. It's all about harnessing that raw emotional energy as a tool for connection and motivation, rather than letting it rule you like some chaotic, unpredictable force. So, the huge takeaway here is this simple yet incredibly powerful rule. Have emotions, but do not become emotional. It's a fantastic distinction from the text. It ensures your emotions are informing your decisions and guiding your path, rather than completely hijacking your rational mind. Finally, we arrive at Section 5, the light of self-awareness. This is where we pass your wish through the ultimate filter, which is eradicating the darkness of ignorance. What's really fascinating about Chanakya's philosophy here is this concept of darkness. The real darkness isn't the absence of physical light, right? It's ignorance about the world and about yourself. To avoid being fooled by difficult people or walking blindly into tricky situations, the text states you must be well-read and worldly wise. This kind of active mindfulness, it gives you immense strength. But being worldly wise isn't quite enough on its own. You need self-awareness. You need an understanding of your inner world, that incredibly complex landscape of your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Because, as the text rightly points out, your mind is rarely under your absolute control. Mastering this inner world is just as critical as knowing what's going on outside. If you don't know your own triggers, your biases, your weaknesses, well, your desires will always control you instead of the other way around. By studying foundational texts like Chanakya Niti, you get directly exposed to the well-documented thoughts of truly great people. And this is exactly how you begin to understand the real truth of the matter, the actual reality of life, moving way past just surface-level desires and ordinary expectations. By studying this scripture, a person learns the truth of the matter, do's and don'ts, beneficial and sinister. This knowledge acts as your ultimate guide. It shines a clear, logical light on what actions will genuinely serve your newly elevated purpose, ensuring you're actually doing good rather than unintentionally causing harm. So, having filtered your deepest human cravings through the lenses of altruism, scientific logic, emotional intelligence, and profound self-awareness, I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder. Now that you know the truth, what is your wish? Take some time to really think about it, refine it, and let that newly elevated desire drive you forward.